Hello, my name is Anthony Davis. I'm a motivational speaker. One of the biggest things that I do is definitely being able to empower the lives of students from kindergarten through 12th grade. This also includes young professionals, those that are also in college also as well. So please know that if you have any type of event in the future or near you, please contact me because I want to empower those who are going to come to your event to experience a lifetime of achievement. Thank you.
It was at UCF where he discovered his purpose and began to pursue his passion for youth and young adults. His goal is to develop youth all over the world so that they can become a productive, responsible, and caring citizen. Anthony's journey has enabled him to utilize his own triumphs and challenges as a guide to assist young men and women in reaching their ultimate potential. Using those life experiences as his platform, Anthony uses his emotional scars as inspiration to move and enable others to grow and to heal. As an advocate for youth and young adults, Anthony has multiple certificates, more than 10 years of professional experience in youth development and nonprofit leadership. Anthony and his wife Erica have been married for 10 years. And together they have 3 children, Zariah, Zaria, and Anthony Jr. As a world-renowned speaker and life coach, he addresses the keys to helping students and young professionals to overcome obstacles, creating change, and discovering their purpose in life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Anthony to the podium.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me? Good evening. All right, perfect. I want to make sure. I know it might be a little dead zone and everything. So right now, I actually want everyone to please high five someone and say, it's possible. It's possible. The reason why I want you to say that to yourself while you're saying it to someone else is because it's true. At some point in time or another in your life, you actually was trying to do something, and at one point in time, you actually probably thought it wasn't possible. You had to go through trials and tribulations. For some people, it may have been your background. For some people, it might have been your foundation, or a little struggle along the way. But at the end of the day, you've made it thus far, today. You've made it to this point, despite the hardship, despite the financial situation you may have been going through, despite the health complications you may still be facing, you still was able to cross that finish line. Those are the actual words, it's possible. Those are the sayings that I told myself when I was living in that homeless shelter. At 14 years old, I got on my knees and I prayed. And I asked God, I said, Lord, all I want to do is travel and tell my story of how you want to bless me. I had no clue how that was going to be. No idea how that was going to actually unfold. I just simply believed. That's why you see on your program, it literally states, believe it, behave it, become it. So the first process of just believing in yourself and believing what it is that you actually say to yourself and to someone else speaks values and it speaks life. We all have that seed of greatness. It just takes other individuals around us to help water it, to help nurture it. And this is why you're able to have what it is that you all have today, this great opportunity to be sitting here amongst great friends and family and loved ones, simply because you knew at the end of the day, it was possible. And because of your belief, you're able to stand tall, weather the storm, and understand that you were able to come out on the other side victorious. Those are the mind frames I had to tell within myself. Because those cold nights on the floor, those miles I had to walk from high school all the way back to that shelter, it was lonely. It was difficult. It was knowing the fact that I was the first person in my family to receive a high school diploma. No one in my family had graduated. My mother had me at 17. I'm not the oldest. My oldest brother himself ended up following the same lines and victim as my father, who didn't have his father. So in my mind, just like anyone else in the neighborhood, they thought I was next to fall victim, or shall I say, become a negative statistic. But it took great individuals. It took great advocates. It took my coaches and my teachers for me to know the fact that, hey, you're not going to be like society may say that you may be. You're going to be greater than that. So I took that mantle. It took by the lady by the name of Miss Charles to tell me, son, it is possible. Now I'm going to show you the way. So even though I was the first in my mind frame, it's not about me standing up here. It's about the fact that I'm not going to be the only one in my family to break barriers, to break doors, to be able to kick down the opportunities that I know that is standing in my way for me to actually get to my promised land. A lot of you all have the same challenges as well, the same type of maybe deficiencies or the different types of shortcomings. However, it doesn't matter. But because you know within yourself, you believing it, then you start behaving it, meaning by your actions, not solely by your talks, but your true actions. You showed up. The facilitators were able to give you the information. You were able to receive. And that right there dictated what it is that you were going to do, because you started to behave in such of a manner that you knew at the end that's what you wanted. This is how you were able to become it. Become now this recipient, being a graduate in this particular field, because you knew from the beginning it was possible. Those are the things that my grandmother told me before she passed. She said, baby, I know it's possible. Uh-oh, I had somebody out there, she know it. I said, I know it's possible. But I didn't know the fact that when she dropped out of school, because she had to work in the fields. And she only had a 3rd grade education. So this is someone of wisdom. This is someone of knowledge that has given me a lot of wisdom and information that I need to understand to take the mantle. And some of you all may have to do that. Take your cross and bear it. Take your mantle, stand up tall, because there are other people that are watching you. I didn't know that my own mother was watching me after she abandoned me at the age of 3. And when she came back, I had a responsibility. Do I keep the curse going, or do I then change it to something great for my family and for generations to come? So when my mom came back, I said, you know what, I'm going to forgive her. One of the hardest things that most human beings, we try to shy away from. It doesn't take a SAT or a particular test or an exam or entry fee to actually forgive. But you got to believe it. You got to behave it. Therefore, you can become it. And when I became the man that I am right now, standing in front of you, been married 10 years thus far, 3 children, have not walked away from them, not one day. I don't discredit my father. I don't discredit my mother because of the lack of the information that they received. I said, you know what? If the FBI can kick your door in for doing something illegal, then why can't I not kick the door in for my family for doing something great that has never been done before? So I took it and I stood tall. That's exactly what I encourage for you all to do. Stand tall in your approach. Stand tall in your integrity, in your mind frame, to know that you can, you will, you must achieve. You're not too old and you're not too young. Colonel Sanders himself, he didn't come out the womb cooking fried chicken. He didn't. He didn't. In fact, it was in his later years when he actually became who we all now know now. I know the whole competition between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, so I know I threw a curveball by saying KFC. But I wanted you all to understand that even at his age, he knew from then through his life journey, through his trials and tribulations, through the mistakes that he has made, he still knew deep down that little seed of faith that he believed and said it's possible. And because he broke out of that, now we all are able to go through hundreds of thousands of drive-thrus because of an ideal that he has. What ideal do you carry that you're still holding on to? What's stopping you from greatness? What's stopping you from just continue to keep going back to that mountaintop? This is a mountaintop. But this event also will end. You have to go back to what I call your reality now. And the true question is, when you get back into your vehicles and go back to your homes, What's next? Do you stop or do you keep going? The chapter is not over yet. Your book has not been closed. Every day that the good Lord allows you to open up your eyes and smell this great air, woo! That's another opportunity. Because I promise you, someone your age, someone that has went through the same situation you've been through, that is underneath you now, 6 feet, they would love to trade places with you. So the fact that you have this opportunity on a day in and day out basis, use what you have. Because that's what I did. And when my mom told me she was ready to use the gift that God had gave her, I said, okay, let's go, mama. So I helped my mom go back to get a GED. She's at 35, 40 years old at this time. I said, mama, it's not too late. Once mom got the GED, I said, mama, we're not going to stop. Mom went and got the associate's degree. After the associate's degree, I said, mom, we're going to now get the bachelor's degree. She received that. My mom now has a master's degree. This is after dropping out at the age of 17, having 2 boys, and realizing within herself, after having 4 kids and traveling around the country, abandoning her children, to realize, you know what, I got to go back to my foundation in order for me to get right. And some of us, we might have to do that, to go back to the foundation, set it up right. It's like a house. It may look good on the outside, but at some point in time, you will see cracks in the slab, which means somewhere in the foundation, it was laid wrong. And that's what I challenge for you all to do. I was at an event a while ago, and I'm speaking here on stage just like this here. And my whole time that I'm speaking, I see a little girl in the back. She stood up the entire 49 minutes with the phone. And I'm like, man, who is this person just standing up? She's supposed to be sitting down. At the end of my presentation, she came and ran. She said, sir, you did a great job. Oh, my God. I'm like, well, hopefully you're not tired because I spoke for 49 minutes. She said, no, I'm not tired. She said, you actually excited me. And I recorded your whole speech from start to finish. You know who that little girl was? It's my daughter. The purpose of me letting you know that is the fact that you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's counting on you. You don't know who's depending on you. Even those who you may think is not watching, trust me, they're watching. And trust me, they're hoping and praying for you to make it. Because that's that same hope that they're going to then carry on to the next generation. I made a declaration to myself that once I made that verbal vow and commitment to my wife, that I was going to be there regardless of what I saw growing up. And those are the same mindsets you got to have within yourself, within your goal. Once you make that verbal commitment to you, are you going to follow through? And have some people to actually hold you accountable to what you said. So be careful with your words. That's why you shouldn't use them loosely. But more importantly, you got to know deep down, it's possible. Because if I can make it, coming from the brokenness that I have and understanding to know that really God was just making it my beauty and brought me thus far. So yes, it showed the NCAA men's award, yes, but that was hard because I wasn't on scholarship. That was the #1 criteria in order for you to win the award. So yet again, I went against the odds, but still was able to prevail, but still was able to get to my mountaintop. And even in the adversity times of that, I had to endure pain, even while on college campus. Because actually watching my college teammate die in my arm was one of the hardest things I had ever had to go through. At 19 years old, we're literally side by side, marching on. And all of a sudden, he stopped breathing. March 18th, 2008, a day I won't ever forget. Because even in that short time at 19 years old, my teammate had touched the lives of 100,000 people. I didn't know that until I got to the funeral. Then I realized within myself, I said, okay, I now have to carry his legacy on. I shouldn't complain. You shouldn't, because again, I know for certain Eric Plancher, my great dear friend, would have switched places with me right now. So even through your adversity, even through your hard times, trials and tribulation, trust me, it's building character, courage, fight, even though you're going to persevere through it, and trust me, you will get to your promised land. Usain Bolt makes it look real easy when he runs that 100-yard dash. But if you YouTube him and watch his workout and how rigorous that it is and how hard it is, him vomiting because he was trying to get his body right. That's the same thing with us. We have to get our mind right. We have to get our hearts right. In order for us, when showtime, when opportunities like this happen, we'll be able to walk through and cross that finish line. We all have a crown that we're supposed to have on our head. My question is, did you leave it somewhere you shouldn't have left it? And if so, find the nerve to go back and pick it up. Because I'm sitting amongst kings and queens in here. You have to know it. You have to claim it amongst yourself. So even when I was told I was not going to make it, that I was going to die at 17, even though I heard that at 16, I told myself, it's possible. I'm going to make it. So when I crossed that finish line, and now 3 months ago, I was able to look at my son, and I was able to look into his eyes and knew within myself, I now have a responsibility to make sure he has the foundation so he can continue on with the legacy that I'm trying to build for my entire family. So that's what I challenge you all to do today, this evening, is realize when you go back into your car, what's next? I need for you to really believe, then behave it, and understand that you can and you will become it. Because if not, whatever you do believe, however it is that you do display your behavior, you're going to become just that. And what I don't want for you to do is 30, 40, 50 some odd years later is live with regrets. Because every day you go by, you're building habits. And it's hard to break old habits. So that's why you have to be careful with the information you receive, those who you're around, and the things you also speak. Life and death lies in the power of your tongue. What do you say about you? Just because you're going through it doesn't necessarily mean you have to treat it as the way it's treating you. So I encourage you, stay strong. This is not the end. You have many more accomplishments waiting for you. Use this as a building and stepping stool to get you to your ultimate level of where you know and you believe that you can possibly be. This is a dream come true for me. Literally. My wife will tell you. Many nights, years ago, I said, I'm going to be on stage one day, speaking at a college, in front of graduates. And I'm right here. It's because I believed it. I behaved it. She'll tell you many times I'm doing videos in the truck, believing, speaking it. That's because I understood my calling. And I started circling, started changing my circle of good supporters. That's the reason why you have your facilitators and your supporters in this room. Family, those that truly love you. Greatness is upon you. Please believe that. Don't let anybody tell you different. And if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. I believe you. I know greatness will come to you. You just have to receive it. Once again, believe it, behave it. And on this day, graduates, you became it. Thank you.